Welcome, welcome, welcome to Coffee with Joy. I am so excited to have you all in the building. I'm your favorite host, Joy. It is such a great day. So if you're watching us, yes, this is Coffee with Joy live. This is our very first live, and I'm so excited to have it with my guest Kia as we talking about an annulment and more. So without further ado, I know you all been waiting. I know you all been waiting for the information, getting the tea on what is an annulment, how did that even arrive? Where is it? What is it? However, of course, but you're going to hear from my guest and her story and how this all came about and just dating, period. So stay right here. I'm gonna bring my guest on. Hey, Kia.
Hello, Joy.
We finally made
Hi.
it. We
We finally made it.
Yes, yes, yes. So we're gonna jump right in. Can you tell people a little bit about yourself, and then we're gonna jump right into the whole debacle of what happened through this annulment.
Okay, well, I'm Sakila Fame, but I go by Kia also. I'm from Houston, Texas, but I currently live in Mexico, Playa del Carmen to be exact. I've been here since 2019, so before COVID, before it was the thing to do. I'm also an educator, international educator, so I work with children, adults, and teaching English. I also am the founder of Black and Beyond America, which is a platform to bring people together, Black Americans and Blacks of the diaspora, to give them the resources, the comfort, the knowledge they need to move beyond America, to make that step, whether it's like visas, connecting them with other people, just giving that confidence. Like our families and our ancestors, they were nomadic and they was forced to move, and we might be forced to move now. So that's just what I do, and I just love to travel. And with my travels, it got me where I am now with an annulment and a life lesson. So I'm just so glad to be here today.
Okay, so before we get there, what made you move from the States to Mexico? I think that's like now so many people, spelling with the day and age that we're in, a lot of people want to move abroad. But what made you, and just in a simple few, sentence, what made you move from the States to Mexico?
I went on a solo trip to Colombia, and when I got out there, I was just so fascinated with all the Afro-Colombians, the Black people that truly looked like me. And even during that time, I was a teacher, social studies teacher myself, and I didn't even know that we was out there for real, for real. So when I got out there, I was like, oh, yeah, I'm very limited. My education was clearly limited growing up, and I've had the best teachers, but we only can teach what we know. So, and then I never had the desire to learn Spanish, but it took for that trip for me, like, oh, and I want to learn Spanish because I want to be able to connect with all my people. I felt very vulnerable, not like that language piece being a disconnect. Like, yeah, we got the same skin color, yeah, we look alike, but if we can't talk to each other, then all we can do is smile. So that's when I went back to the States, put in my notice to leave the school that I was working at, and I started to research in which Latin American country I want to go to, and Mexico called me all home. So that's how I ended up in
Yes.
Mexico. Yeah.
Hola. Yes. So let's jump
Yes.
right in. Of course, so many people want to know about this annulment, right? What is an annulment? How did we even get there? So before we even explain what the annulment, how did you arrive to even thinking about getting an annulment? If you could tell us a little bit about your story, and of course, I may be interjection. If you all have a question,
Of course.
please put them down. Please let us know. She's here to answer any questions, but we're going to get as much as we can in our time allowed it. So yes, can you tell
Okay.
us a little story about this fun excursion?
I wouldn't say fun, but it was an excursion and an
Right.
adventure. But it was some parts was fun. But I had for my dirty 30th birthday, which was last year, yeah, 2023. I've always planned to go to Tanzania, Tanzania. Us Americans say Tanzania, but they do say Tanzania. So I plan to go to Tanzania, Zanzibar to be exact, because I saw all the videos and stuff. So I was like, I'll come and go there. I ended up going there. It was a solo trip. First person I met out there was my now ex husband. But I was also going out there like to consider this is a place of investing as far as real estate, moving there in the future. So it was a trip, but also like some research I was doing. I had a good old time out there for 2 weeks, and not necessarily with him, not at all with him. I met him the day one. I was out there 2 weeks by myself as a single woman, having a good old time. And then like the last day, I'm talking about literally waiting for my flight to take off. He just started blowing me up like, "Hey, I want to see you. I want to." And he was hitting me up from the first day I met him. I didn't take it that he had likes in me or thought I was attracted to him or anything like that.
Yeah.
Actually when I first met him, he warned me about the men there, how they could look at me as an American woman, they could take advantage of me and try to use me. So that's
Mm.
how I was like, oh, thank you so much for putting me on game. Thank you for that.
He
That
put you
nigga
on
ran
game.
off.
But I'm gonna let you tell the
Oh,
story. He put you
yeah,
on
he put me
game.
on
Yes.
game. Yeah, he put me on game. All right, he was warning me about him.
Yeah.
Okay. You know how we have like we call low down men like scrubs or
Yeah.
ninjas out there. They call them beach boys. So he was like,
Mm.
be careful of the beach boys because they'll try to get you. So yeah, I mean and then the last day I was leaving, we never stopped talking after that. Talking, texting, just starting to like grow fond of each other. So that was about like what 4 months. And he asked me to marry him. I was like, yeah, okay, I like you, I love you, and fine like that. And he was very intentional on like, I want you to come out here, like I want you to move out here. But part of me was like, some shit go left, I don't want to get stuck out there. So
So
no,
how long
you
y'all
come
was
out
together?
here.
How long y'all was together before you actually said yes to this proposal?
We was talking for 4 months, but
Okay.
that was just on the phone, video chat every day, all day long. I mean, outside of him working, and the huge 8 hour, 7 hour time difference. But yeah, that was 4 months, and then I flew back out there to and I thought God told me in my head like this the one. I did. So really, it's nothing that nobody could have said because I was like, God told me, like I heard it, but I think that was
Right.
more so my ego or maybe a discerning spirit. But that was not God that told me. That was not God that told me, and I had to like come to realization actually last week, like that just wasn't him. That was
Yeah.
well, it wasn't him, but yeah. So we went out there, got married way quicker than we even thought. We was gonna go out there, spend a month together to see if we. But then the opportunity was, we went to the courthouse to sign the papers. Like, oh, we want to arrange to get married, and they was like, okay, we'll see you tomorrow at 7 o'clock in the morning. Bring your witnesses. We was like, wait, tomorrow? It was like, do you want to get married or not?
Oh,
I was
wow.
like,
So they didn't ask y'all to do
yeah.
no blood work, no nothing. It was just, today is Tuesday, tomorrow's Wednesday. You all come down, we'll sign the papers
Be
and
here
say
on time
married.
tomorrow. It
So
was a lot of bribery going on. Like leading up, like that whole day was just like spending money, like just bribery. It was kind of like
when you
the
say
guy that was
bribery, what do you mean?
like the government official that we was working with. He was probably like our age, maybe like 36. I'm 31 at that
Mhm.
time, 30, but he's like 36, and he was like, you can ask your husband here in Tanzania, money makes things move.
Mm.
So if you don't pay me extra to like hand work your paperwork, it's gonna you see them stacks on that desk, paper stack. It's going over there, and you ain't getting married no time soon. So, because once your paper go over there, you can forget about it. So you pay now, so we can. And I was like, oh, like it was just so much. It was just fine thing, I done traveled to some countries, but and traveled to countries since then. That was the only country that was just in your face, like
Give me the money. Give me the money.
give me the money. If you want
Give
things
me
to happen, you gotta give me the money. I'm like, dang. So that happened. It was just so much, but we did the process. So I had to research that process, how to get married, make sure it's legit within their country. Then of course, get him a Mexican visa. We have to go through Kenya was the closest Mexican visa. We went there. He got denied because we didn't have the right paperwork. We went to
mhm.
South Africa. I ended up having to go back to Mexico, get the paperwork, came back. This is all visa paperwork. Did all that without a lawyer. That costs money. That's time. That's intelligence being
So
wasted.
between that time
Mm-hmm.
frame from you going to Kenya, going to South, because in my mind and probably other minds as well, sitting there doing this whole geographical map, because you're going up, you're going down, you're going left, you're going back west, and now you're going up north, down south. Like within the time span, how long did that take before you all actually moved to Mexico?
March 1st to March 1st, I came to Tanzania. We got married March 8th. By March 8th, the day we got married, we had only physically seen each other 10 days. From the 2 days in October and then the 8 days in March. And then um, I left late May to go back to Mexico to take care of some business, and he stayed
Yeah.
behind in South Africa because that's the furthest he can go. And he came to Mexico June 27th.
Okay.
So
So
from March 1st to June 27th
like
was
almost 2 months.
our so Tanzania, Kenya, South Africa together, and
So
then
now
of
that you
course
all in
Mexico.
Mexico, did you all ever have a honeymoon? Did you all, consummate the marriage? Did any
Oh
excitement?
gosh,
Because I
I
know,
have to.
I
Yeah,
don't want to assume that the marriage would just completely just turn
well,
left. It was like,
mhm,
but of course, that's just my assumption, though. That's why we're here for clarity. We're here to bring up just to make sure everything, just finding those
mhm.
in betweens, from the
No, and I
time.
have to. You're right.
Mhm.
No, you're right. And it was a great. Of course, very early on, I realized, there is extreme.
There's religion differences. He's Muslim. Now he is a liberal Muslim, and I am a spiritual Christian, liberal Christian. So it's not like he's extreme left and I was extreme right, but he was left and I was right, or I
Yeah.
was right and he's left. But we had good times. We went on safaris together in Kenya. We walked with lions. We fed giraffes. We went to the. We had a good time. Like I'm not proud. We had a really good time. Like still since out of new. Out of
Uh-oh. Kia. No
Can you hear
worries.
me? Hello.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Now we can hear you. Yes. Yes.
Okay, perfect. You can still hear me?
Yeah. Uh-huh. You said
Okay,
you
perfect.
went on safaris. Yes.
Okay, perfect. So let me scoop. I can barely hear you, but so yeah, we taught each other a lot of things. I have to teach him like not as far as like hygiene, but like how to use the bathtub. Because in Tanzania, there's showers. There's just showers.
Mhm.
So when we went to South Africa, Kenya didn't have any bathtubs. South Africa had one. I showed him like this is a bathtub, and this you fill it up. Blah, blah, blah. But he had to teach me how to hand wash clothes, my clothes, his clothes. So we learned a lot of things together. He exposed me to a lot of different African cuisines and things like that. Um, and then of course we just had our differences. But as soon as
Yeah.
we got to Mexico, immediately we started to go to marriage counseling, which is
Okay.
my pastor, African American woman who has her own church in Playa del Carmen. Her and her husband, they was governing, us and guiding us. So we was going to counseling every week up until the day he left.
Mm. So now that you're all in Mexico, what what happened? What was the turning point? How did this relationship go from us being in a bliss, completely like estranged, to now we at an annulment? So what happened leading up to that annulment? Now that he's in Mexico, like what turned left?
The day before he even got to Mexico, I already had him a job set up at a new Black-owned restaurant.
Okay.
So he came in with a job off the bat, and it was a job that like it was brand new. So it's not like he walking in with clicks, and even though he did walk in, there was the locals had their clicks, and he was the outsider. But the he was probably there for he got here June 27th. He left August 20th, so not even 2 full months. But he ended up getting fired. They ended up letting him go. They were saying it's not gonna work, but I really think they just want him out so they can just bring their own cook in. But I think that was the turning point for him. He was like, okay, I don't have no job. Like this is time for me to go off. But even before then, like when he had finally got here, we was in a honeymoon stage for like a week, and then so we
Yeah.
started arguing. Like it was just like, and I felt guilty because I was like, dang, should I have got married? Yes, I love you, but we didn't have to get married. Like
Yeah.
we didn't have to get married. We could have just I really could have went out there to Tanzania and just like kicked it with you for a few months. We could have long distance dated for a few more months.
Right.
So now I'm starting to take more responsibility. And then I tell him, I say, you know what? This may not work. And before we go for real left, because he also told me he had a fear of coming to Mexico and me because he had, well, let's speak for myself and my experience. I grew up being warned,
Mhm.
be careful dating foreign men, whether that's African, Caribbean, middle. Be careful with dating foreign men that's of a lower financial class than you. So I've already been warned. So I've already walked in with some kind of okay, but I didn't know he walked in with some marrying me because it was like he had family and friends telling him, well, she gonna bring you to Mexico. What if y'all get out there and she crazy, or she
Mhm.
y'all get out there and that was her home before she met you and she put you out.
Wow.
And now you stuck out there. Like, what you gonna do? So we was having like this argument, this discussion. I asked him, I said, you know what, if this ain't gonna work, let's walk away civilized. I would
Mhm.
do one more good thing for you and pay for you to go back home.
Right.
Like, you ain't got no blood on my hands. Like, I wouldn't feel guilty like putting you out and you just stuck here, and I would be guilty for that.
Yeah.
But and he was like, no. But I think then that was also that was like a month before he left. Like, I think then, well, that was a turning point. Like, okay, like she's starting to like get a clue. Like, but I definitely feel like once he got fired, 7 days later, he was gone.
So leading up to the preparation, when he decided, okay, I no longer wants to be in this relationship, what did he do to say, okay, I am leaving, or there was just nothing? If you could lead us up to that part.
Okay, he got fired. He allegedly, now I don't know what's true now. He allegedly broke his phone. His phone was broke. So I got him a new phone. And we was going to nothing. Like nothing. Nothing changed. I mean, like I posted a video that he left me a 5-minute video speaking in Swahili saying, I love you. And as a man, I need to go look for work. I need to go hustle. I can't depend on a woman. You're my wife. I love you. Don't ever marry anyone else. He made that video for me in front of me in his native language that I cannot understand what's going on my
Did
phone.
you with like, didn't you start to wonder, like, why is he talking in my phone? Like, instead of just talking to me, that never crossed your mind? As he was talking for this long period of time in the phone, in his native language, nothing crossed your mind to say,
No,
why you not
because
talking to me?
now let me tell you something. I ain't never said nobody this, but a week before he left that, like between the time he got fired and the time he left that video, we had gotten into an argument. And he was in his, like, he had a journal and he was just at the table, we have a studio, so we ain't got no bedroom, living room. We all up in here. He was writing, he was upset. And then later when he left, I went to get in the journal. I don't know, he was writing, he wrote in Swahili. So I went to a WhatsApp group for expats in Kenya and Tanzania, and I met a girl. I put in a post, I was like, can anybody read fluent Tanzanian Swahili and can read good cursive? And so I took the pictures of his journal and I sent it to her. And because I even told myself then, I said, depending on what's in this journal, I might have to, because I don't know. But she was like, no, he didn't really say nothing bad about you. It's like he's writing a letter to his mom. I don't think he planned on sending it to her, but it's just like a diary entry. He was just saying like, hey, mom, I do miss Tanzania. I do get homesick sometime. And my job is kind of sucky. I really don't like it. But, my wife, she's cool. Like, sometimes she be kind of turned up. But I love her. She takes care of me. I take care of her. It's a struggle of, not being a man of the family. So just more so, he didn't really say nothing mean or nasty about me. But going back to that video, when he made the video and the video stopped, he stopped the video because it ran at my phone, ran out of storage. I told him, I said, the reason why I didn't worry about that video because I know some words in Swahili. So I heard him say, I love you, my wife, sweetheart. Like, I heard keywords where I wasn't triggered on like, oh, you just called me a bitch.
Yeah.
Like, I heard the nice sweet words. I was like, oh, okay, whatever. It's just a love letter to me. And I'm also keeping in mind I read your diary, your journal last week, so that wasn't bad.
Gotcha.
But when I asked him, I said, well, why did you make a video for me in Swahili? And I don't speak Swahili. He said, he looked me in my face. He said, I know for sure one day you'll be fluent. And he know that was the goal of mine, to be fluent in Swahili.
Yeah.
So I'm thinking, oh, this is nothing that's dire. Like, I need to translate it tonight. I need to hit my homegirl up in Kenya tonight. Then he also said, promise me. He said, promise me you'll never delete this video. I was like, oh,
Mm.
okay. Like, didn't think nothing of it until
Yeah.
the next day. He left. Next day, I'm sitting in the bed chilling, working on my phone, doing business. He was like, come on, I'm about to go out the house. Come give me a kiss, give me some love, like normal. Like
Yeah.
normal, newlywed husband and wife. Knowing that he walked out that door, knowing he was never coming back. Knowing he was never coming back. By the time he left that door, he had stopped sharing his location. He went to go pick up his last check. That's when they didn't have all the money in cash, so that he was forced to have to, send me a portion. But that was just because of circumstances, not because he really was going to come back home and give me cash, and but I didn't see no change. I know some people say they marry different people, and once they get them here, they switch up on them.
Yeah.
He didn't do
So
that.
now that he's kissed you goodbye, he says, "See you later, love. I'm going to work." So now that you're assuming he's at work or getting his check. Now it is nightfall. What is his typical time of coming home, and then for you to realize that my husband's not home? Like,
Yeah,
how did
he was a
they?
homebody. He was extreme homebody. That's another thing we was trying to figure out in our marriage. Like, I'm sociable. He liked to be at home. So, but leading up to him leaving, running away, he said he met some local Mexican guy that was trying to put him on at his job, and he was trying to meet his supervisor. So
Yeah,
once he went to got his check, he was like, okay, I'm about to go hang out with Diego and go with Diego to talk to his supervisor. I was like, okay. So now it's 7 p.m. I'm like, hey, where are you at? He was like, I'm with Diego. And I'm like, give me Diego number, because I don't even know Diego for real. Like, and at the end of
yeah,
the day, we for real in Mexico. Like, we don't. I'm responsible for you. Like, I don't know who Diego is. Like, give me his number. Didn't never, of course, never got the number. I don't think the Diego was real, or maybe a Diego was real, but this was like a guy that was connected to him, not with a supervisor, but with somebody like a coyote.
yeah.
Like, coyotes are the people that transport immigrants
Oh,
from one country to another country. So
mm,
I think that's who Diego was. But yeah, I was just like, he was like, oh, I'm in Cancun looking for work.
mm-hmm.
I was like, oh, Cancun, that's an hour away. And I was like, just make sure you get home tonight. Make sure you get the right bus and get home tonight.
Yeah,
By the time I got home, it was midnight. I'm at the park playing cards with my friends. I'm calling him on my way home. Calls
yeah.
not going through. He done blocked me.
Wow.
2 days later, he messaged the pastors on a different phone number saying, hey, I'm on my way to Belize to find some work. This is my
Hold on, you breaking up. You breaking up, Kia. Hold on, she'll probably come back. Just give it a second. Yes.
hello.
Okay. Hello. Yeah. No worries. No worries. No worries.
So
So we
yeah,
left you. Yeah, you
so
left us at you left us at the part where he spoke. He called the pastor. I think she's still there. No worries. Let's see. Kia, she gonna come back. So please, if you're
yes,
tuning in, yes, Kia.
yes. He can you hear me or is it delayed?
Okay, so now we can see you because you was paused for a little.
Okay.
Yeah, so you left us at a part.
Okay, so yeah,
You left us at a
okay,
part.
so yeah, he okay, sorry.
Oh no, you're good. You're good. No, you left us at a part where he called the
Okay,
pastor.
sorry, I'm sorry. So okay, so yeah, he called the pastors and just and it's like 2:30 in the morning. Like, oh, I told her I love her, and I told her I would never return home until I have money. But when he said that, he was referencing the video that I had since had translated by then,
Uh-huh.
and that was the last time. And I mean, still up until that point, everybody was like, some people said, "Oh, how heroic he was," and he's going to. And I was the same way, like, "Oh my gosh, like, okay, he's going to Belize. That's a 5-hour drive from Playa.
Yeah,
It's 3 days after you said you was gonna call me.
yeah,
It's giving you ran off. Like it's get or it's giving you got abducted by the cartel or
yeah.
something bad happened. Like, why haven't you messaged me yet? And yeah.
So when did
And I
you
was just
realize now that he's gone, he's no longer there? When did you realize you said to yourself, okay, my husband don't ran away. He no longer wants to be married. What made you come to that point, or how did you find out that okay, this
yeah, it was more so just me finding out because every day, each hour, it was he left and danger because chilling with a woman somewhere. Like it was.
Uh-oh. Hold on, Kia.
This year, my Lisa.
Hold on, Kia. You breaking up. We can't hear you.
On the
Hold on.
who, you know,
I don't think she can hear you.
well, I guess not.
Kia.
Do it.
Kia. Hello?
I don't know.
Kia. I think, keep in mind, if you're tuning in, please make sure that you drop a questions or anything that you'd like to know. Please drop the message. I think just having a little technical difficulties. So, Kia, if you're there, so let us know. I mean, so far, she's going to come back in, so don't worry. So please make sure that if you like, subscribe, and follow Coffee with Joy, please make sure that if you would love to be a guest, we do have some comments. I do. Okay. I just saw the comments. I'm waiting. Hey, my sister did the same thing. Lived there for 2 years, man full of lies and decent on every continent. Dang, seems like they all work together. I know, right? Oh my gosh. This story is crazy. Oh, it gets worse. The story gets worse. Let me tell you. Hopefully she's able to come back on to really explain. Now we're at the part where her husband completely ran off. And now she decided that she realized that her husband is here and is no longer coming back. So this is the part. Okay, let's see. She's back in. So thank you all for tuning in for this is our very first live. We're so excited. Kia, you there? You there?
Can you hear me?
I hear you. Yes.
Okay.
I know, right?
You
No,
know,
no worries. I was reading some of the comments, and they were just like, somebody said, my sister did the same thing, lived there for 2 years, man full of lies and decent on every continent, shaking my head. Dang, seems like they all work together.
The
This
devil
story
is working.
I can't believe this. So yes, I truly agree. This is completely. So now that you realize that he's not coming, because I think we was having some disconnection right there. If you could go back to telling us like, he's not coming. This is when you discovered, okay, he's not coming back. You did your research on why he's not coming back. Uh-oh. I think we. I think we losing some connection, Kia. We're losing some. We see black. We don't see you. She's gonna come back on, so don't worry. So again, these some great things. I hear you, but it's kind of breaking up. Okay, she's gonna come back and pull her hair. It's just doing what it wants to do. But yes, this is crazy and obscene. To I guess marry foreigners. It seems like it's the same song, different continents. Many American women go across and they really looking for love, and some. And it's statistics. So keep in mind, I'm not just talking off the side of my head. It's constantly doing research, looking and noticing that every part, everybody wants to be an American citizen. They want to come to America. Then once they get here, they realize, oh, wow, it's not as golden as they think it is. It's really, you have to work and you really have to put in the work and do some work. But of course, marriage do allow you to go through the scapegoat of, becoming a citizen. So these are just a few stories where marrying a foreigner, these are part of the stuff that life doesn't tell you. So again, thank you so much for sharing your story. So if you could, I know we have some difficulty, so if you could jump right in where you realize he's no longer here. He's no longer.
I just looked him up. I used to have a online platform where you can type in illegal immigrants information, and I've been the day he left, I went on that website, but I was typing in his name wrong. Like the way that they organized his name and his passport is different than how he presents himself. So when I finally typed it in one day, the way that I was like, oh, let me type it in this way. It lo and behold, it said they had one immigrant, illegal immigrant in the government U.S. system under that name from Tanzania, same birthday, same everything. And I was like, oh. And that was 3 weeks after he left.
So would you believe, allegedly, that he went from Playa, all the way to Belize, went to the American borders? If my map, because see, here's my thing. I guess I'm just a visual person, right? And I guess
Mhm.
I'm just trying to draw a map for everyone that's listening. And
Mhm.
if you all know if you need to pull out your your Mexico map, go ahead and do so. But now this 5 hours, which took probably, almost 4 days, 5 days going up.
Mhm.
Now he's at America. He's trying to cross into American soil. And that's who caught him, allegedly. And they
Yeah.
locked him in. So where do you believe he is now?
Oh, he's for sure in the, like right now, today, right now.
Uh-huh.
Oh, he's in the United States, locked up nice.
Gotcha. So now how did we
Yeah.
get to the annulment part? Now here we are at the nitty-gritty of getting this annulment.
Yes. Once I realized where he was at, I talked to I tried to call there and get some information on him, and I was like, "Hey, I'm his wife. This is, I didn't tell the situation like this is the wife. I'm trying to talk to him, get some information." They was like, "Well, we can't give you information because illegal immigrants, they have privacy too. So in order for us to talk to you about his record and his arrest, he has to sign a permission slip, like a privacy waiver." And I was like, "Okay, well, can you present him with the privacy waiver so I can sign it?" They went to go present it to him, and he refused to sign it. And he also, they was like, "Well, when we're talking to him, he's making it seem like he's not married to you. So, like,
Wow.
I don't know what y'all got going on, but he's saying no." So that was the point where I was like, "Okay, well, I'm gonna be calling y'all back later to give him some more papers to sign,
Yeah.
and let's see how he likes that." And then that's when I went to the annulment process. I had first reached out to a American lawyer that's in Tanzania because I was afraid that I was going to have to go back to Tanzania to get this done. And that
Mm,
was very stressful for me. Like, I was so fearful of that because, one, it was, like I said, it was bribery. To do anything out there was bribery, especially being an American woman.
right.
And he made it easier to kind of navigate through. I still have to pay bribery prices, but he made it easier because he was a native. So
Yeah.
me as an American woman going out there by myself trying to get stuff done,
Yeah.
no way. We probably not to be there for the rest of our lives. Like, I probably wasn't gonna really deal with that. But I've spoken to a lawyer out there, and she was like, "I'm sorry that happened to you, but you can get a note." I didn't know about annulment. I just knew about divorce. She was
Right.
like, "Well, based on what happened, no, that qualifies for an annulment easily. You can get annulment in the United
Hmm.
States, and you don't have to come here." And she said it's gonna be cheaper, it's gonna be less stressful, and it was. So I just started to go online to my county in Houston, and I typed in how to get an annulment, and they literally had a step. I made a video on TikTok, step by step, on how to get the annulment. I had to fill out the application, turn it into court. They
Mhm.
approved it. It was like, "Okay, you made some little typos here, da, da." I fixed it. They was like, "Okay, here is the letter for you to get him served." Now, because he was locked up, I had to call the sheriff's office in the state in the county that he was arrested in. Talk to the sheriff, like, "Hey, this is the situation. I'm mailing you now the papers for you to serve him." Sheriff went on in, served him. And with that, he don't have to sign anything. He just gets served. That's it. You serve, boom. He
Yeah.
gets a letter saying, now he sees my name, his name. They said, you got 20 days to contest against the marriage, saying, like, "No, I don't want to, da da da."
Yeah.
And while he had those 20 days, I had to wait. Like, I had to wait 20 days to see if he was going to write back. Me knowing him, I didn't think he was going to write back. But
Okay.
then again, I don't know him because I
Yeah.
don't know who I married for real, for real. So it's a possibility that he could have wrote back. Um, it's a possibility. He's very private,
Yeah.
so I didn't see him really talking to other inmates, like telling them, like, "Dang, my American wife is trying to divorce me." Because I think if he would have did that, other inmates would have been like, "No, you don't want that. Like, you need to contest. Like, you need to slow that down." But he's very prideful, so I don't think he didn't tell anyone. So I don't think he knew. Like, he didn't have nobody in his ear to, like, coach him through that, which I'm thankful to God.
So
Yeah.
let's hypothetically, right? Let's say hypothetically, he would have told somebody would have told him to contest. How would he be able to get out of ISIS or get out of deportation to even contest it? Or how would you believe that would have worked? Because I'm and assuming you may not know, but just asking just for clarity.
Now, I know when I did all the stuff and the court was like, okay, you have to physically come in. I was like, yeah, I'm out of town right now. And it was like, if you want to get this done, you need to physically come in. But when I came into court to do the process, there was cases that was being done virtually. So they probably would have had me come in, but he could have been virtually doing it. So he probably technically wouldn't have to like leave. So he just,
Okay.
they have access to iPads and emails. They got access to a lot of stuff up in those jails. So it probably would have been a that type of thing, or it could have been just a reset until they reset, or y'all have he's been deported now, so y'all gonna have to deal with this in Tanzania. So, but that's why I was so grateful. Like, please don't tell no one, so they can just keep my clothes. Yeah, he's very private, so I would have been shocked. I mean, because yeah, I mean, he also, like, when he left, he took our original marriage certificate. So I didn't know what his plans was and what he was planning on doing. But like the officers made it very clear, like, he didn't mention you as his wife. So it's like, dang, are you even trying to use the marriage to get in the United States? Or are you not? Are you just trying to run up in there and guerrilla style? Like, what you?
I think he was trying to go guerrilla style. And I think probably that paper was the only thing to verify or something. And that's just my assumption because, again, you left your American wife. And I mean, and again, you're coming to a country. You're literally starting over. So, of course, funds is not there unless you're some type of, royalty or you just coming with, full of cash flow. And I'm pretty much sure you probably would have already, been in the process of marriage or somehow along the way, but you're coming. So you should have would expect you to give yourself grace. But I guess that wasn't time. And somebody wrote, I'm in Houston. I'm here. I'm her auntie and I don't fly. But I'm telling you, if I could fly and get to him right now, they'll lock me up and throw away the keys because he was so innocent.
They would.
Then Tiffany, wow, he will be deported very soon, I'm sure. So yes.
Yeah, I was introduced him to my family, and even now when I look back on videos, and he's just it's just so sickening how it makes my body cringe to just see how. But I also, like I said, I take responsibility in that. Like I lost my mother a year and a half before I met him, and I just know that was just grief. Like me just moving so abruptly like that, irrational, just jumping into a marriage and jumping into, that's nothing but just me grieving and trying to replace, like, no one can replace the love of your mother, my mother. So, but it was just, I just know I was going through that. So it took for that to happen for me to like, oh, like I should have been got grief therapy and counseling, but now I for real need to go ahead and get on top of that because this is just like a dangerous game that I'm playing. Like, and I'm just so brave because I always say this could have been worse. Like I could have had a baby by him. He could have. I truly believe he would have. If I would have had a child, he would have took my child with him. I would have woke up and he would have been gone with that baby, and that would have been his meal ticket to get across that border because they're lenient on people that come through with children. They're very lenient. They put them in like a halfway home. They give them to where like, okay, well, we're not going to arrest you. Like, we're not going to detain you. We're going to set you up so you can't have no children, no detention center for 5 months. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, that would have been his meal ticket. Like, I could have gotten some type of disease from him or just anything. I could have been beaten. He could have. Now, he done took some money out of my account days leading up to him leaving. But he could have drained me dry. He could have definitely took all my money out, but he definitely took some money out of my account days before, leading up to him leaving. So
Tiffany said grief can have you make some crazy decisions. Yeah.
It really can.
You don't know yourself, right? Because you never experienced it. So when it comes and it's like now the test is here without the lesson. So yeah, I can't imagine. I can't, because you try to feel that void, with something and you don't know you. Many people say, yeah, I'm okay, but you just don't know,
You don't know. You don't know. And I never thought I would be in a situation like that. I never thought that.
So now that you on this side, the annulment is here. So basically, if we're clear to say the annulment is sponge, so it will go on record that you never been married. So now it's completely sponge. Now, what advice would you give to anyone if a woman is dating somebody that is from another continent, and a continent that's probably harder to get citizen, right? In the United States. What advice will you give to that woman or man?
Um,
Because I know it's prevalent in women, but it's
mhm.
it's in both race and both sex, but we see it more with women get given the citizen right, green card,
Yeah,
permission to become a
yeah.
citizen over United States.
I would say, like anybody dating anyone, American
Mhm.
dating American, like just take your time. There are things like, you know, I could say that I met his family, but I didn't really meet his family.
Mhm.
So of course meet the people, but then again, I think his family is in cahoots with a lot of this stuff.
Yeah. Yeah.
So that don't mean nothing either. You know, it's nothing like your boyfriend is Junebug, you go to the cookout and Junebug mama all in the face with Destiny, but Destiny's ex girlfriend. Mama ain't tell so it's I don't want people to think like, oh, it's an American thing and a foreigner thing, but then again, they have more things to benefit from.
Yeah.
And because I live out the country and I have no intentions of ever moving back to the States, I will in the future again date foreign what as Americans would say foreign men, or
Mm.
to me local men in whatever country I'm living in. But now I have to really stick with like the status. Like you have to you gotta have status. You have to have you have to. I need to be able to depend on you.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like, and I think I was more compassionate and considerate with him because it's like if if I was a girl in Tanzania, like a local Tanzanian girl, I wouldn't have dated him. I would date her.
Yeah.
So why am I who I am and dating him? Like that's that grief though.
Yeah.
But I I would say date above your means.
Hmm.
Um, date someone, and
Yeah.
yeah,
I
I just
feel
wouldn't
you.
do it no
I'm with
more.
you.
I wouldn't do it. I just wouldn't do it. And then I went back to the States once I had got my, all that stuff taken care of. I was in Houston for a while. And I was back in the dating scene, just to keep myself occupied. And it's a lot of foreigners on the dating app and just outside.
Girl.
And
It's
I'll be asking all of them, are you legally here? Now, because I got to ask you now. Let me see your paperwork.
and it's
And
really
half of this stuff be fraud.
and that's what I was about to say. You really got to find someone to really verify it because it's obscene. It is really obscene how people just do anything, just become a citizen, and then they will drop you. Because again, the once you leave American soil, it's it's hands off. It's game time, and we know, of course. And this is not to pick sides, right? But
Yeah,
again,
of
like
course.
I'm heterosexual, so I'm not dating women, right?
Yeah.
So I know for with men, they can have multiple wives, right? So you're
Mhm.
falling in love, they coming over here, and you never know how they're plotting and scheming and trying to, trying to utilize you as pawn. And once they get what they need, now they drop you, wasted a couple of your life, couple of years in your life, and you're just sitting there.
That
It's
part.
been proven, it's been done, you really have to take heed nowadays. And of course, we're all on social media. And before I go, I just want to read. Yep, my sister's in heaven now, but she's looking down on you and proud of you, and made you and proud of you that move. Some women stay like a fool. Families will lie for these men in the US or international. As much as people
Yes.
talk about American people are dying to get here each and every day. Correct.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, I know for a fact. I know that, and me living in the South, and I don't consider South Florida like another South because we're so
Mhm.
entangled with the islands. People would do
Yeah.
just fine, and people will pay, and immigration is getting better. I mean, when I say
Yeah.
better, they're using the tactics that people are using because they know people want to come over here and they want to get that. And sad to say, people and many women want to be in love, right? And
Yeah.
by being in love, they're so vulnerable, and some guys just know how to be quick with words, and they know how to really salt the ears, and some women just fall for it and they keep
Yeah.
going for it and not knowing that they are the pawn to their next scheme and trying to get over. And it's sad,
Yeah.
so
Yeah.
I'm glad that you was able to get that annulment. Of course
Yes.
I don't want a divorce, but at the same time I don't want no one heart being played. It's not to say
Yeah.
this is a great story. No, it's just
Yeah.
to really open up. And I'm glad that you're able to share your story here, because I really want people to know that these things are real. Marriage is
They
just
are.
yeah.
They
The
really
next
are.
you just never know. So, and
Yeah.
really, if you're
I'm
going to
so
date,
grateful. Yeah.
ask that question. Ask the question.
Yeah.
Write it down. Many
Yeah.
people are hiding stuff.
Ask to see documents.
Yeah.
Like and it really don't just have to be it just don't have to be a rush. And I mean, yeah, I wouldn't do no online meet nobody online. Like I didn't meet him I actually met him in person, but I just wouldn't do it. And if I could do it all over again, I would have, like I said, went out there. Like,
Yeah.
And I think another thing that really made him like, oh, I need to make the move now is because I know he was struggling at his job. And we was even in the conversations and planning in counseling saying, well, it's August, lease is up in December. If things doesn't work out with you in this job or any job, or you're not comfortable and grounded yet, I will go with you to Tanzania. Because in
Mhm.
Tanzania, you're a citizen there, you can work, you ain't got to worry about the culture differences, language barriers. Like, you in your place and you're comfortable. And
Mhm.
I will have to make adjustments. I would do that for you because I see what you have to do to get here to do me. So I
Mhm.
think when he saw, like, oh, like, she's willing to go further away from America, like, I need to go now. Like, I need
Mhm.
to. And just, I mean, like, the day he left, like, all his stuff was here, his laptop, everything was here. I, I don't, it was just it was very abrupt. I don't think it was well thought out. I think he was just moved out of desperation.
Yes. Thank you, Miss Veronica. She
Yeah.
said, thanks for bringing Kia to your platform. The truth needs to be told. This will help so many people. Yes, it will. Yes, it
Yes.
will. And I think really, I know for a fact that a lot of people just don't want to talk about it because I know my friends, they laugh at me. If I'm dating a foreigner, do you have a green card? Do you have a green card? Because again,
Yeah.
I know the situation. I know that it could be devastating, it could be hurtful. And before I get there, if God is really penetrating a question on your heart, ask it. I'd rather lose
Yeah.
you than me losing myself. Because at the end of the day, when you're sitting at home, your mental destroying you, no one can help you but you. And this is how you
Of
get
course.
people when that show back, I don't know if it's still on, but Snap. When these women snap because you're really playing with people's feelings. And in the
For
words of
real.
I'm not a killer, but don't push me, right?
Yeah.
So at the same
Mhm.
time, you really don't know who you are because again, you
Yeah.
never know when a person may cross you and you may go against that grain. It's almost like a mother and a child. You do something to my child, yeah, I go to jail for my child. You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
I really don't know who I am. So if I know that, let me protect me. Let me ask these
Yeah.
questions because again,
And the
I've
thing
been
about it is,
here.
I asked him all those questions. I told him,
Yeah,
hey, I don't ever plan on going to the United States. I'm not taking you to the United States. If you trying to use it, don't do it. I
yeah,
asked them, were you gay? I asked them every question. But a human is a human. A mouth gonna say whatever a mouth want to say,
sure.
and an ear gonna hear whatever they want to hear.
Right.
So, even with asking the questions, looking at the actions, looking how they moving, looking
Correct.
how,
Correct.
yeah,
Correct.
you
Correct.
still gotta do extra work on top of asking those
Correct.
questions.
Correct. But
Hmm.
then if
Yeah,
see, and then when I ask and the action don't move, don't match the wording, you gotta abort, abort,
yeah,
abort. Don't
yeah,
stay there just because hey, it's a man or it's just a woman. Abort. So now, what is the next stuff? What is the next thing for Kia? How's Kia living abroad? Black and beautiful living abroad.
yes, yes.
Oh,
I'm just so happy to be back home. I'm, you know, now I'm back home in like our marriage home, and now I'm really big on trying to like get back into painting and putting decorate. I don't want my house to look the way it looked when he was here. Like I want to revamp it, so I'm just worried about like interior design and like decorating around to just refresh my life and my living space. And just really focusing on me. Like my word for this year is inward, INWARD. Like really, because I saw all the stuff that I was pouring out and loving on him, like how big I was loving on him, investing in him. And it's
yeah,
like if I do all of that, to me, this time next year, it's gonna be crazy because it's just gonna be crazy because I am a very like strategic spender. Like some people may say frugal, but when we was like doing stuff like, oh, safari, like I want you to experience that because I experienced that. We're gonna do it. Oh, we're gonna do this, and do you never? So now when people are like, oh, well, let's go do this trip to Cuba, and I'm like, usually I've been like, well, I could. Nope, I'm gonna do it. Nope,
yeah.
I'm because I didn't doubt anything when I was doing anything for him. So now this year is just like doing it for myself. So I'm actually getting ready to plan a trip, doing a group trip to northern Mexico, where it's the only village and tribe out there that celebrates Juneteenth. They're Afro Mexicans. They're descendants of slaves from the Texas and Florida region that came down to support and fight in the Mexican War, and they celebrate Juneteenth every year. So I'm focusing and hosting a group trip for that. So that's my big project right now. I think for my birthday, I'm gonna do another African trip with a friend because I'm also trying to reconstruct my mindset on like Africa, because I always said that Mexico is not my favorite home. I truly believe that I need to be in Africa. Which country, I don't know. That's why I was checking out the different countries. But I can say after this, it put a disdain on me for like, so for my birthday, I want to go travel to the four corners of the world, which is Namibia, Zambia, Botswana, and another country. And I'm going to go with a trusted home girl that lives out there, and we're going to explore that just to rebrand, you know, my whole African experience. Because now when I think of Africa, I'm just like, not Africa, but like it's associated with him. So just big trips, like a lot of big trips, a lot of just going to the beach, like, you know, spending time on my balcony, getting fresh air, like just really enjoying the simple things. And I'm just not really trying to date at all. This is probably the first year where I don't have like a New Year's resolution on, oh, I want to find love and maybe I can find my soul. This is the first year ever, and it feels good. It feels
I'm glad. I'm glad to hear that, because, you know, a lot of people go into this, you know, deep, or going to a depression or going to some type of mental stability. That's good that you're revamping and really getting rid of that aura. You know, you're really rebuilding. Just continue to do what you was doing before without missing a beat, because I think a lot of people miss that, you know. And you're not allowing social media to tag you and like, oh, look how great they work. Because there's people that work out. That's good, you know. But right, it's working out for me. This working out. So I'm not gonna, it's working out. And we're going to continue. Like Anthony just said, that's really good to rebuild. And your aunt said, oh, why you tell me about Snap? How Auntie gonna be on that show with me and Adam? Crazy. Yeah, it's crazy. Yes, she's really lighting up the chat. Yes,
she don't play.
She don't play about honey's. Let me tell you something. I'm gonna say, you good. I got my sister taking care of her. Yeah. Auntie, chat, girl. Yes, Auntie like no chat. But that's really good. I'm glad that you rebuilding and really taking time and really exploring and not allowing the place that you really love to taint your memory. Because again, you know, some people don't dodge that bullet, but I'm glad you did. I'm glad that
yes. I would definitely, you know, I just thank you so much for having me on your show. And I just look forward to like all this really concluding. And by concluding, I mean, you know, he being sent back to his country, because when I say so many like juicy details that, you know, and I just have to be mindful of what I say, because it's still like an open case and things like that. But I really look forward to like really telling my story and being truly transparent, so I truly help women, and to see how evil people can be and how like blind that other people can be, to like really help them. Because when I say just an inch of what I said today ain't even nothing compared to what's been going on, but I look forward to like, you know, this being a thing in the past, him being returned to sender, and, you know, being able to really reach women and men. Because I even had a man message me who he's married to an African woman in Zambia, and he said she's a great woman, but he said he would never take her to the United States vacation. Yes, like he said, I'll take her anywhere in the world, but I would not bring her near our country, because the fear of, you know, her doing what my husband did to, you know, to me. So you're right, it's not just women, it's men too have to be mindful of, you know, being taken advantage of.
Yeah, this is a higher percentage, but it's crazy out here. Dating is not dating back when mama and daddy did it back then. Dating nowadays, you really got to fill out a scroll application, you know, on section line 892.
Fingerprint, fake ID, because now I don't even know if his name is his real name. I don't know nothing on at this point.
Yeah. You got to have friends in all type of jurisdiction who works at, you know, the deportation, ISIS, you know, who works at federal, but even though that's getting all discombobulated, but still you got to have people around, because even the internet still
connect.
Literally can't
Right.
keep up. So it's sad. It shouldn't be this way. So people keep in mind, I don't want no one thinking that we're taking relationship. We're not. Please, love is love. But at the same time, we do want you to be mindful. This is a great story to hear. Sometimes I know for a fact, we're not on the earth to make all the mistakes by ourselves. So God do send
Yeah.
people in our lives to really teach us about, trying to be proactive and not reactive. And as much
Mhm.
as we can hear people's stories, knowing that it could be you, but let me take hold of the bull. And I'm not saying
Yeah.
when you ask questions, everything is great. No, but at least you
Yeah.
try to do your best diligence of trying to ask questions because time you can always have kids. You can always get in a relationship, but you can't get time back. And I don't want
Yeah.
you to play with my time. So that's the main
Yeah.
thing. I don't want you to play with my time. So,
Yes.
any last words, Kia? Thank you so much for being on Coffee with Joy.
Thank you
As
so
we
much,
conclude our
Joy.
conversation, is there anything that you would like to share with anyone that may be thinking about going through this, or probably never heard of this, or anything about Kia?
Okay, if you're thinking about getting an annulment, it's different because you might have children, you might have property, your spouse may have their green card, so it's always different. But just go online, look it up. I lived in Harris County, so even if you don't live in Harris County, go to Harris County website and type in annulment because it'll give you some good information and try to translate that to your district clerk, or you can just type in the city and type in district clerk annulment. Call the courthouses, ask those questions. I've made some videos on my TikTok page, Black and Beyond America, and that can kind of give you 11 to 10 steps on what you need to do, but ask those questions. Also, there's a lot of free resources out there for free legal advice. So you can call those hotlines, those numbers. I know Houston have them. And it's free. So you just have to sign up for them. So there's stuff out there for you to get the information that you need, but it should not be as hard. It might be a little expensive, and always ask for those waivers to get some things waived because them people do it all the time, so we need to do it too. Also, and just follow me on Black and Beyond America across all social media sites. I'm really active on TikTok right now, and thank y'all so much, and thank you for having me, Joy. Thank
Yes,
y'all for
yes.
everyone who joined today.
Yes, I know so many people. Thank you all for joining. Thank you all for joining Coffee with Joy live. It's so great to see you all here. Keep in mind, if you were unable to ask the question, please make sure that you do answer in the comment section, for this will be on the replay. And as well as I know Kia would love to hear what you have to say. So if you like to patronize our company, please make sure that you follow the QR codes, as well as you would love to be a guest on Coffee with Joy. We'll love to have you. Please go to our website, which is thecoffeewithjoyshow.com, or email us at thecoffeewithjoyshow. And as always, this has been a great live. Stay tuned for many, many more. As you always know, live life on purpose. I'm your favorite host, Joy, with Coffee with Joy. Until then, you all live life on purpose and ask those darn questions, okay? Do those questions. I see you all soon. Love you dearly. Bye-bye.